What's up guys, Tommy Bowyer here from Movie Rewind, and today we will be reviewing SHAZAM, a movie about a kid who can transform into a superhero. Now there are going to be spoilers in this review, so without further ado, let's get into it. So in terms of character development, this movie is quite poor for it. It's about Billy Batson, who lost his mum in a fun fair and now he's with a foster family, and the foster family has like 5 or 6 different kids who are all foster kids. Now, I don't mind the family stuff. I think they should have just focused on him fitting in with this family, as well as him learning how to use his superpowers. However, they kind of push this thing with his mother down your throat to the point that you're full of anticipation for, him meeting his mother for the first time and finding out why she didn't go back to collect him. And then you find out in like a 5-minute scene, it's kind of just glossed over. Now I understand what the movie's trying to say. It's trying to say that some of the grass is not always greener on the other side. Some of the things who you think are going to be brilliant turn out to not be that great at all. And you should be grateful for what you've been given. However, this movie kind of glosses over all of it. It glosses over it for more comical superhero stuff, which, fair enough. However, yeah, it doesn't help with the development of the characters. I didn't really feel anything for this kid. And when he started being arrogant as a superhero, I didn't feel like there was a point where he actually learnt a lesson. I feel like he just started getting beaten up and then it was like, oh yeah, I better be nice to people. However, it's not like there's a massive scene. I don't know. The development in this is kind of all over the place. So I'm going to give character development a 4 out of 10 because, to be honest, I don't like it. I think it glosses over the important stuff far too much. As for the performances is probably the only thing I actually like about this movie. And I don't know, the kids' performances are actually really good. I actually think the kids perform a lot better than the adults do, which could be a little embarrassing. However, I can't really argue with the performances. They're all good. They all do really well with the material they're given. And I think given a better script, then it could have been a really good movie because the performances are really well done. So I'm going to give performances an 8 out of 10 because, they're all pretty good. I can't find any faults with any of them. The effects are hit and miss. I like the effects they do with SHAZAM. I think they're good. However, especially in the final action scene, a lot of it looks a bit sloppy, especially with some of the other superheroes. I feel like you can see their heads are rendered onto these CGI bodies. It just doesn't look convincing. And as for the 7 deadly sins, you can kind of see the pixels with some of them. So the effects, I don't know if they had a small budget or a large budget. However, they should have done better than that. So effects, I'm going to give a 5 out of 10 because they're nothing great. They're really not. Now, the weakest part of this movie is the story and writing. It's kind of all over the place. Now, I went to see this with my aunt and uncle. Yeah, I don't have many friends. And me and my uncle both agreed that it's kind of good. The pacing is okay. However, the final action scene goes on way too long. It's a load of really fast moments when you think, oh, they're going to finally start fighting properly. Then all of a sudden, it goes to a really slow, dramatic reveal moment. And fair enough, however, there are far too many of them. It kind of cuts up this action scene, so it goes on longer than it needs to. And I call it an action scene because it isn't really much of an action scene. There's not that much fighting or anything involved, to be honest. And I get it. Some superhero movies can be more than just action scenes. However, this is trying to be an action scene. And it's just not working because I don't know why. Oh, this action scene let the movie down because it was so boring. I ended up looking at my watch to see what the time was. And I never look at my watch during the cinema. However, I did this time. So the writing really does let this movie down because the pacing's all over the place. A lot of it feels like it's just being glossed over. The bits which don't seem important at all, it takes, longer than it should have to actually do it. And this action scene is boring. And if you make an action scene boring, well then, That's ridiculous. So the story and writing's going to get a 3 out of 10. I don't know who wrote this, however, they really need lessons, because this was dreadful. Now, for this movie's special recognition is kind of a negative one, unfortunately. I'm going to say about the designs of, especially the 7 deadly sins. They're bland. Now, the 7 deadly sins, you know, you've got lust, you've got greed, you've got envy. You could give them personalities. You could make their character designs more distinctive. I didn't know which was which, really. I could kind of guess. However, they never said which one was which. So, I think if all of the 7 deadly sins had personalities, then that would be more interesting to see. It might make the villain more complex, because the villain's kind of a block of wood. He doesn't really have a lot of character development. I'm guessing he's the little kid who got bullied by his dad and his older brother, who was told he would amount to nothing. I get that. However, yeah, I don't know, he's kind of just an obstacle. He's not really a character. He's just kind of there to stop Shazam. So yeah, I think they should have had a better villain, and they should have gave the 7 deadly sins personalities. I thought that would have made the movie better and more interesting as well. So for this week's special recognition, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Because, yeah, basically. So in conclusion, Shazam is a mediocre comic book movie. The effects are a letdown, all the dramatic moments are a letdown, and the action scene goes on way too long. And that is why Shazam is going to get a 25 out of 50, which gives it a grade 4 ranking. Now, it's better than a lot of the other DCEU films, however, that really isn't saying much, to be honest. I feel like this movie was just rushed, or no one really cared about it. It's one of those two options. So thanks for watching, guys. I really do hope that you enjoyed my Shazam movie review. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe in order to receive great and maybe even improved quality content in the future. And I want you to keep an eye on my channel for something I've got coming over Easter. It's an Easter special that I've worked on with Matthew Charlton and, of course, Ryan Beefcake Flack. And I think it's brilliant, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a little short film. I won't go into too much of the details now. However, there is a teaser trailer on my channel, so remember to check that out. And I will see you in another one. See ya!